Hey, everyone. How are you all doing? I pray that you all are having a great Sunday. Happy Quarantine Sunday for the third Sunday, I think it has been, maybe fourth. After spending so much time in the house, you just quite forget. So I am coming to you all because God has placed it on my heart to be transparent and kind of tell my own testimony. And I'm gonna actually create a YouTube video. I'm gonna come to you just about maybe every week or however God places it on my heart to kind of come to you and just talk about some of the things that He has placed on my heart, some of my own journeys, and we are going to discuss some very sensitive topics. So those who are hypersensitive, this just may not be for you. I'm not going to be politically correct. I am going to have a little bit of that slang coming out, but this is me being transparent, me being honest, and this is just me being real and me being me. So, a few things I'm going to talk about today. First off, being single and loving Jesus and how that has been a journey in itself. So I'm going to talk about that. Eventually, I'm going to come to you with videos about my business and the new products, Divine Coils, and the relaunching and all that God has me doing in regards to business ventures. So, but today is not the day that I'm going to discuss that, but I will talk about Divine Coils because, we got to get our natural hair today. Of course, mine is protected on this wig. It's a little hot, so I'm going to hurry up so I can take this off. So, today I'm just going to tell you a little bit about my testimony and what God has really brought me through within the last, I'm going to say 6 months. So I'm going to go back to 2019. And once again, this is a no judgment zone. I'm going to call this whole kind of series or this whole kind of idea that God has allowed me to bring forth no specs. That means no specks in your eye. Matthew 7, 3 through 5 talks about why do we focus on the sawdust in our brother's, our neighbor's eye when we have a plank in our own. So this is no judgment. Any comments or any topics or ideas or even testimonies that you have had and you want me to kind of bring up, inbox me, email me. I'm going to leave all that information for you so that you can, if this is a safe place. If you want to talk about whatever, we may talk about sex. We may talk about different things that we are battling, and that's fine. And you're safe here. You are also going to be my accountability partner. Stuff that I need to get done, I'm going to talk to y'all about. And guess what? Because I talked to y'all about it, I got to do it. So, and we're going to be that for each other. Not only that, holding each other accountable, holding my sister, my brother accountable, and to stay in the faith, stay in the walk. We may fall, we may slip, but get up and keep on moving forward and keep on trying, keep on doing what God told you to do. So, going into 2019, I'm just going to kind of jump into my testimony. Going into 2019, it was a great beginning of the year. Oh my God. My finances were at what I have, the greatest I've seen in my life thus far at that point in my life. I was making more money than I've made ever legally. Okay, we're gonna tell the truth today, saints. I have been traveling. I traveled more in 2019 than I have ever done in my entire life. I moved into my new home. Thank you, God. And things were just going amazing for me. And then around June, my birthday was amazing. I was not here in the States. I was out. I think I was in Bahamas, then Grand Turks, and then Bahamas, Nassau, all that. So I had an amazing birthdays, and after my birthday, once I got back, things had just started happening, and I was just like, God, what is happening? Now, firstly, God always warns us. When there is something, when the enemy is about to go on attack, he always warns us. Something always happens. He always come in a dream, a vision, something. He warns us before this happens. And I recall I was sitting on my couch. I was watching Martin. I like Martin, okay, Saints? I like to watch little Martin get a little laugh in. I was watching Martin, had me a good cold Pepsi. And I remember I had my plate of food on my lap and I was just enjoying myself watching the television. And I remember being taken up into a vision. And I saw a pack of wolves around a mountain. And I saw me walking up the mountain. And the higher I was getting up the mountain, the more the wolves would swarm in. I saw that at the top of the mountain, there was a huge, gigantic wolf. And I remember saying in the vision, there is where I need to go. I came out of the vision like, what is that, Father? What are you showing me? And why am I going towards the wolf? Protect me, God. So I had pondered about the vision and really thought like, God, what is happening? What are you doing? What are you saying? And I didn't. Now, the first mistake, I didn't go in fasting and praying the way that I should have after having that vision, because I would have been more prepared, right? So I had that vision. Immediately, I want to say not even 30 days after that vision, my finances were hit in a way that I've never seen before in my life. And it was a garnishment in my job. Now, if there's a debt that you owe, you pay that debt. Of course, right? You pay that debt. This was not a debt that was my own. This was a debt from a previous relationship and from my ex-fiance. And I've never seen where a garnishment can take this much a percentage from your paycheck to where it's leaving me with barely being able to pay my rent, being able to pay for my daughter's school fees. I just wasn't, on paper, bringing enough monies home to sustain my household. Now, during that time, let me tell you, that garnishment wound up being $10,000 that was paid in 6 months. Now, God did that, and He allowed me to do it, paying someone else's debt, someone else's debt off, and He allowed me to go through it. But when I tell you, a light never flickered, a water never cut off, gas never went off, my refrigerator was never empty. God sustained me when I had nothing. I had nothing. It was to the point to where once my finances were being hit, my vehicle, I wasn't able to pay my car note, so my vehicle was repossessed. But 3 days later, I was able to get my vehicle back. It was nothing but God, because I didn't have the money, and nor did I have the credit enough to afford or be able to take a loan. But God worked it out for me to where I was able to get my vehicle back. Because Lord knows I'm not able to get to work driving 45 minutes every day without a vehicle. Okay? So here goes the finances being hit. Then I don't know those who know or who don't know, I have been in a battle with my twin boys, with their father, for years in regards to visitation and things like that. Now, this is me being transparent. I'm being so real. I don't know why God allowed the things that He's allowed, but He's allowed them. I question God many a times, and I had people who ask me about what type of mother I am. I love my children with every breath that flows through my body, with the blood that pumps through my veins. And the fact that God allowed my children to be estranged from me, as a mother, in my own mind, I had to keep my sanity. I didn't understand. It was many a times I asked God, why are you doing this? Why is this thorn in my side? And I'm praying and I'm fasting, and you allowing this man to put me through this because of his own hurt and his own bitterness, because I don't want to be in the relationship anymore that I shouldn't have been in the first place, right? And God allowed it. And I remember one time, he said to me, and this was a few years ago, but when God says those things, and you get to those moments to where I don't want to remember that. I don't want to hear that. I just want to know, why are we not fixing this? Why is this not back to the way that I wanted? Not his will, but the way that I wanted, right? But he said to me some time ago, he said, I took your children from you to save your life. And I said, wait. To save my life, had I remained in New York, the things that I were involved in, illegal things that I had no business doing, God saved me from that, because he knew that I would not stay in New York without my children. So where my children were, and my children's father, and that's a story for another day, took them and brought them here to Virginia. I packed my toothbrush and a pair of underwear and got in a car. My mom and my grandmama, we was rolling, and I stayed here, and I have not been back since. Because I was looking for my children, and he said if I stayed in New York, I would have stayed in the things that I was doing because of the money, and the money was good, and the money was flowing, and God allowed me to. He took my children. This is what he said, to save my life, and he brought me here to Virginia. This is where I found my church home. This is where I really started to seek in the face of God and the voice of God and the heartbeat of God, and I started to fast and pray, and I dedicated my life to Christ. Am I perfect? Catch me on the wrong day. Okay, I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect at all. But in my imperfection, what I do know is God is real, and he is the lover of my soul. And that's all as Christians, that's all that we need. And that's all we need to know, that we are saved by his blood. So anyways, so the thoughts about my children began to be tormented. And the thoughts were just coming, and it was just like depressing. The attack on my finances. Then September of 2019, my nana, my old lady, my big mama, the one I call to talk about all y'all crazy folks, she went on to be with the Lord. And it shook my soul. It shook my relationship with God. Now, I am not a licensed anything, but what I do know is that I hear the voice of the Lord, and I hear his voice clearly. And I remember I had a dream about my nana, and the way that I interpreted the dream was, oh, she's gonna be healed. She's gonna be healed. Oh, I know God is gonna do it. He's gonna heal her. I didn't understand that he was healing her, but not on this side. Now she is in glory, with no pain, no suffering, and looking as if she did with glorious skin. She had gotten so sick, and to watch her to deteriorate to the point to where she was before she went home, it was heart-wrenching in itself. But that day when she went home to be with the Lord, I remember my family that same day was torn apart. An event happened after my grandmother's death. I mean, not even an hour after her death, that tore my family apart. And I remember driving home that night on the highway and feeling like something was dying on the inside of me. I laid in bed that night, and I felt lifeless. Like, I felt like, God, what are you doing to me? What are you doing in my life? How are you going to take my nana? And my selfishness, because she desired to go. She was tired of being here. So with the weight of my children, my finances, my best friend, my nana, my old lady being taken from me, I couldn't take anymore. The beginning of the year, I had changed my church home, and I was seeking the voice of God, and I had started to go to a new church, and I thank God, like, yes, I'm in the right place, God. You called me here. I didn't want to hear nothing from nobody. I didn't want to hear from church family. I didn't want to hear from personal family, blood family. I didn't want to hear from God. And I didn't understand because I couldn't articulate exactly how I felt. And now I can say and know that what I was feeling, on top of the depression, on top of the confusion, I was angry at God. I didn't want to pray. I didn't want to fast. And at that moment, here comes a man. Now, this man was everything I thought that I wanted. Oh, he was spiritual. Oh, he knew the Lord. Oh, he talked about things in the spiritual realm that I felt it was so hard for me to talk to people about because they look at me like I'm crazy or they just don't understand. And he's had experiences like I've had experience. We can talk about the spirits and we talk about the feelings and the vibrations of the earth. We can talk about the wind and we talked about everything. And he was fine. God knows blue, black, and beautiful. Okay? Lord knows I love a black man, all right? Black with white teeth, okay? And a little bit, I love a man that loves Jesus that could go to prayer and got a little bit of thug in him. Now, I told y'all before we started this is that y'all gonna hit it real, okay? So, I was just like, oh my God, this is it. This is my husband. And I prayed about him. And the visions and dreams I received after prayer was not in line with nothing that I thought he was. And it was one day I remember he and I were in the kitchen and he was cooking and I was sitting on the counter drinking my coffee and I said, I had this vision about you and God showed me something. And I told him, I said, he showed me like we were in a carnival and I was walking, I can hear the bells and the whistles. You know how when you're winning a prize and the alarms start to go off. And I said, I was walking and I'm hearing all that. I'm seeing the Ferris wheel and everything. And he's walking up to me. He is laughing so hysterical. And I kept saying his name and I kept saying, stop playing, stop playing, stop playing. You play too much. You play too much. And I told him, after praying about, okay, God, what is that? And fasting about it, God revealed to me what he does in regards to relationships, that he will make a woman feel as if they are the only woman and that they're in a committed relationship. And the whole time this is a tactic of his. This is he's playing. He's putting on a facade. He's playing. He is not as committed as he says that he is. And God told me that in time he's going to reveal himself. So we talked about it. The worst thing. Why do we give the enemy the revelation that God gave us? Why do we tell God? Why we tell people God told me this about you? God revealed this about you. Now, if they had not been that way anymore, God would not have revealed that to you. They have to continue. This has to be a part of their personality, a part of their character right now for God to reveal who they are now, not their past. Now, if he had been this way in the past, then God, that's covered by the blood. His past is forgiven, just like mine is. And when I talked to him about it, he just mentioned, that's how I used to be. That's not who I am anymore. And that's not what I want with you. What I want with you is, I want you to be my wife. I want a future. So, and I took that and I was just like, okay. Now, my spiritual antennas was down, okay? And I believed what this man said. One day we were watching a movie and, having, just fellowshipping together and eating popcorn and just having a good time. And I said to him, I said, what do you want with me? He said, I want to marry you. I want you to be my wife. I said, okay. I said, I'm going to do something I've never done before. I'm going to willingly open my heart to you and give you access to my heart. And I said that I'm going to intentionally love you without restriction. And that was the stupidest thing. Instead of, women, listen, yes, we want love. But why are we so desperate to find it? Why are we so desperate to where our guard, we so easily put it down? Why are we so desperate to where every standard that we have don't exist because this man is fine and because he know Jesus? That's good. That's the first step to know the Lord. What's his relationship like with God, right? So, and he was like, he listened, and he nodded his head, and gave me a kiss, and I appreciate that, and I appreciate you as a woman and all that. And here when the turn started, Jake, stuff just didn't start feeling right in my spirit. So things about how we know when a man is or is not placed in our lives to by God and to help us to move forward in our purpose. Now, things that we probably would have never done, we start to do. So since he over there, he having a drink. Well, babe, and and you ain't think about drinking. You ain't want no drink. You think about drinking. You ain't been drinking 6 months, 8 months, a year, whatever is. That's your thing. Your conviction is your conviction. But for myself, I ain't think about drinking. No wine, no just water and juice and a little sweet tea every now and again. Okay. Um, and I'm like, what you drinking? Yeah, I'm just, we having a good day, we having a good night, and we eating some food. Have a glass of wine. Okay, sure. Now that wine then turned into, well, what's that? That's a little Hennessy. Now, don't judge me. This is my truth. Okay, this is me being completely naked because I survived it. Okay. And so you go from, and this is my story. Maybe it's for you. Maybe it's something else. Maybe it's a different substance. Maybe if the man, you look past a man who smokes weed, or maybe you look past a man who gambles. Maybe you overlook those different character traits in him, and you're like, you know what? He just gamble a little bit. It ain't that bad. Then later on, you found out it's thousands of dollars that he's ungambled, and then eventually you marry him, and that can be your house. Uh, whatever it is. What I'm saying is that we lower our standard, and the things that we didn't used to do, and the things that we used to do, the fasting and the praying and the seeking God, we stopped doing. And then the picking up alcohol, or if it's a drug or whatever it is, we start to do because we're being pushed into this man's life instead of him adapting to ours and coming into ours. Right? Now we know when we meet a man, we don't meet truly who that man is. We meet his representative. And sometimes those representatives be strong, baby, and they'll last for a long time until they get what they want. And then you eventually start to fornicate. Baby girl, you've been holding on to that flower, that rose, that cookie for months, for years. And then here this man come along, and then now you're fornicating. No, ma'am. He was not sent by God. And then he's, for those of you who feel like sprinkling a little sage, was it? Seasoning salt, sage, that's your business. I'm not going to judge you, That's just not what I do, okay? The Holy Ghost is enough. And he's going to sweep through and clean up everything that is unlike him in here. But, and it wasn't, I'm not going to blame this all on this man, because in my weakness, because I wasn't being strengthened, I wasn't in my word, I wasn't fasting, I wasn't praying, and the weight of everything else that was on my shoulders, I thought that I had found someone, or God had sent someone to almost rescue me. Now, God is the one that rescues. God is the one that heals. God is the one that provides. God is the one that sustains, not a man. Clearly, not a man. And another point that I said I was going to make. We're not going to get so desperate, sis, auntie, cousin, that we going on a website, okay? We're not going to be on Tinder no more. We're going to delete it today, okay? We're not going to be on Tinder or Plenty of Fish or Christian Mingle, Black People Meet Up. I don't know what the rest of them, whatever it's called. We're not going to do that because your husband ain't there. Your husband is not there. That man of God that you were waiting for, he is not there. And that, with this man, was the lowest part of my life. So everything, my children, my finances, my nana, then this man who was calling me his wife, let's go get married, let's go do, and I'm around his kids, I'm playing stepmama, fixing and cleaning and doing and cooking and doing what you leaving for the marriage? If I'm gonna cook and clean and pop, lock, and drop it, and we're gonna do all of that, what's the point of marrying us? He done got everything in the dating that he was supposed to get in the marriage. What else is there to get? What else is there to gain? That's how a worldly man is gonna see it. That covenant, that contract, that's how we're gonna see a contract. What's the purpose of that? That's how that worldly man is gonna see it. Now the man of God is gonna understand what that covenant and that blessing that brings to him. He that found the wife foundeth a what? A good thing. And he obtained favor from the Lord. That's favor a wife can give. A wife kind of favor is a different kind of favor. Okay? Not to say that you're not going to have favor, but that's a different type of favor that you're going to have. And we're going to wait for our husbands, ladies. So all of this brought me to the lowest place of my life, to where the enemy started to torment me. I wasn't sleeping, wasn't eating. And I felt like, what am I living for? Why am I here? Why am I here? I laid on my floor one day and I was just crying. I was just like asking God, why are you doing this to me? Why are you doing this to me? And my daughter knocked on my bedroom door. Oh, I just thank God for her. I thank God for her life, because she was so connected in the spirit at that moment. She had no idea. And I thank God. Now, I can be transparent and say that I had a moment. And others may not be as transparent, and that's fine. I can be the voice to say that when the weight of the world got so heavy on my shoulders, I had a moment. And God used my daughter to snap me back and bring me back. Now, after this, I was going to church, and I was just like, somebody got to see me. Somebody got to help me out of this. Help pull me out. I'm sitting in a prayer service, and I'm just like, I just need help. Come on, somebody just help me. I didn't find it there. I found it when I got back to that place on my floor. That same place I cried and was asking God why. That same place, when I got back and I laid on that place on my floor and just started to thank God. Oh, his strength. Oh my goodness. His strength. Oh, his love. And I'm not going to be no extra holy roller, no Holy Ghost Jr. and say that it happened that day. And I was just And I didn't think about calling this man. I wasn't depressed about my grandmother passing. I didn't think about my finances that I was still going through. I didn't, think about my children and what I. No. Every day I had to pray. Every day I had to submit myself and say, not my will, God, but your will be done for your glory. Manifest yourself in my life. Every day I had to take a piece and a piece and a piece and a piece and a piece back of my joy and my strength. I walking around the house looking right raggedy. Now, we looking raggedy a little bit now because we got the quarantine and we ain't nobody going outside. Ain't nothing open, just the Walmart and the Dollar Tree. That's where I go anyway. But besides that, ain't nowhere else for us to go anyways. But I was just walking around the house just looking real. And I know my sister, Lord knows she was tired of me calling her. Crying, my emotions up and down, up and down. One moment I'm happy, one moment I'm sad, one moment I'm crying, one moment I'm laughing. This is too much. But I thank God that he saw me through it. And the reason and the purpose for this all and me coming to you today is to encourage you. Is to let you know that, sis, it's going to be all right. It's going to be all right. You're going to get your smile back. You're going to get your pep and your step back. You're going to get your joy and your strength back. And then when the wolves come again, the enemy going to know that you've been in prayer. The enemy going to know that you've been fasting. The enemy going to know that this time you are prepared for war. Because it is a fight. It is a battle for your sanity, for your strength, for your mind, for the destiny. You are destined for greatness. There is purpose in your life. There's a reason why you were created to be in this earth at this time. And you hold on to the horns of the altar and you keep on moving. You keep on going. You be encouraged. So I am thanking God today to say that my finances, Jesus, he did it again. And that garnishment was paid off completely, the $10,000 in 6 months. And that may not seem like an accomplishment for someone else, but for me, a single parent, that's an accomplishment. Okay? And then understanding and being okay with my Nana's passing and knowing where she is, and listen to my daughter, my 5-year-old. She says stuff like, Nana's in heaven. And Nana is Big Mama, what she called her. Big Mama is sitting with God. And I'm just like, whew, God. Wow. And my children, that's still a battle. That's still a battle. Not every thorn in your side he removes. I'm still fasting. I'm still praying. But I'm still doing my part. I'm still reaching out. I'm still calling. I'm still covering them every day. I'm still sending gifts, and all that I can do is what I will do. And when this corona is over, Mama is hopping on the road again to go drive down to see my babies, okay? And in regards to the man, now every day, step by step, little by little. First of all, I'm over that. Let's just be clear. That is done. Now, do those thoughts come back? And you remember the good times? But when you remember the good times, remember the bad times too. Now, we forgive. We don't ever forget. We don't forget, but we forgive. I've forgiven him for where he was in his life. I don't think that he is a bad person or a bad man. Excuse me, at all. I just think that he wasn't called to be my husband. The things that he battled with, I am no one's savior. Sis, you are not to save no man. You can't. Christ can and will. Now, if you praying with the person, you going into fasting with that person, that's fine. But you are not called to save no one. And in regards to me, this time I said, this time, sis, me and you, we gonna wait on our husbands. We are not going to lower our standards. I don't care how high a man says your standards are. Baby, keep them. Don't be unrealistic now. The same table that you want him to bring and what you want him to be able to place on the table, baby, come with the same table. You making 50,000, if you want a husband to make 50,000, no, I'm not saying that you have to make the same amount, but don't come with rocks and you want him to have diamonds. We're not going to do that. We're going to be realistic about the desires that we have. And it's not just about money. The spiritual relationship you have with God that you want your husband to have, you have that. It's travel. The best way to free yourself. So what I was mentioning was travel, sis. Prepare your vision, your dream, your books. Start the business. Do all that God has told you to do without the distractions. Okay? See the world. Put your business plans in perspective. Write them down. Start to work towards your vision. Occupy yourself. Your husband is coming. And when he comes, after taking your singleness and preparing yourself and keeping yourself busy and developing your businesses, you will be ready to be a wife. Get your credit right. I'm talking to myself too. Okay? And then when he comes, you will be ready to be a wife. And we know it ain't easy being single and loving God because we are human, okay? And look, put that flesh to rest, okay? Let it go to sleep until your husband comes, okay? And at that time when you have those moments, we gonna be for real. We know we have those moments, okay? Okay? We have those. Go and take a cold shower, get in for and pray. Call your sister and say, sis, I need help. Help pray this off of me. Okay? And keep God first. And remember, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. We don't want to have to start all over again. Or it's not starting over, but getting to that place to where, I don't know about you, but you get to that place to where you start to do things that you know you're not supposed to do, that we call sinful. Then you feel like you done fell away from God, like you can't hear his voice. And now starting over again to where what I'm saying, getting back into that place to where I got to hear God's voice again. I got to be able to fast again. I got to be able to pray again. I got to be able to be naked and willing to show my flaws to God again. Take that time, sis, to develop yourself, and your husband is on the way. Now, once again, I know I was all the way naked today, and I was all the way transparent. But once again, this is no specs, a judge-free zone. So we're not going to look at the speck or sawdust in my eye and not see the plank in yours. And vice versa. But anybody who has a particular topic that you want me to talk about in regards to our singleness and this journey, our singleness and this journey that we are going on into loving Christ, the Christ journey, and being single while we're doing it. I don't know why I keep on, what's going on with me not being able to say single? And being single while doing it, drop into my email, text, inbox me, call me, and we'll talk about it. And this is something that I'll place in a video for us to discuss. Any comments, anything, just blessing me, just let me know. Hit me up. I'm free and available to talk about it, and I'll make sure I make a video about those topics that are important to you. Once again, I love you so much. Thank you so much for taking the time out to hear my testimony And any thoughts, once again, just, let me know what you think, and what God is saying to you. But I love you. No judgment here. Enjoy the rest of your quarantine Sunday. Y'all have a good day.